The show begins with a supernatural being asking for people's wishes. Her primary focus is on Eiji Hashimiya, who was only a child and wished for the world's destruction. In the present day, Eiji is lying in a hospital bed when he hears his stepsister Sena calling for him repeatedly. She also invites Eiji to watch the sunset with her. The following day at school, the homeroom teacher explains the great destruction that occurred 10 years ago with the emergence of orders, which are people with specific abilities, and the desolation of Japan in various sections. He also suggests that one of the orders is responsible for the destruction of the world. The order for destruction as we know it, Eiji, who is also in the class, leaves as his classmates mock him through street messages. When Eiji is on his way home, he witnesses various people becoming enraged at the mention of the creation of another order. As he arrives home, he is greeted by Daisy, the fairy who granted his wish, and behind all of this, she forces Eiji to use his wish, which he refuses because he misremembers his wish as a good elder brother. Eiji goes to see his sister at the hospital, where she casually asks him if he would wish foreseen recovery if he were an orderly. It initially surprises him, but he follows her logic and agrees. The next day, a new student, Rin Kurinai, joins Eiji's class, and he immediately develops feelings for her. When he returns home, he is pursued by the new student, who claims she has misplaced her apartment keys and requires Eiji's assistance contacting a locksmith. Rin tasers Eiji as he turns to open his apartment door, knocking him out. When Eiji awakens, Rin stabs his hands and claims that she knows he is the one responsible for the great destruction and that she has come to exact her revenge on him for her parents' deaths. When Rin tries to stab him again, Eiji uses his order to force Rin to stab herself, and then he flees, believing he has killed her. He hides behind a shrine and considers all the consequences of contacting the police, but all he manages to do is call his sister. Eiji arrives at the hospital only to find no staff and his sister being held captive by Rin, who stabs Sena and takes her on the elevator. Eiji kicks their buttocks in horror and runs into the basement while the two guards remain. Daisy arrives and informs him about Rin, who is also in order, as she requests regeneration abilities and asks Eiji to use his order to save his sister. Eiji recalls his wish and decides to carry it out. As he approaches Rin, a swarm of guards fire at him. The girl goes and heals Sena, which surprises her because she wasn't expecting it. Eiji speaks from the smoke about his desire to rule the world and uses his ability to enslave everyone in his path, including Rin, who screams. Rin recalls the day the great destruction struck, killing her parents in a house fire and putting Rin on the verge of death. Rin's wish for eternal life was granted. She vowed to exact vengeance on the individual, but as it turned out, she became his slave. In the present, Eiji enslaves Rin, who cannot leave his domain and cannot kill Eiji or Sena. Rin still tries to strike Eiji with her sword, but she cannot because of his domain. Soon after, another person, Fran, arrives and uses his ability to stop time to transport them all to the headquarters. Rin saves Eiji and informs him they are being held hostage beneath the Dazaifu city government, DCG, office for a short time. When Eiji inquires why Rin is assisting him, Rin unequivocally states that she wishes to be the one to murder him. Rin leads Eiji through various dangerous paths and traps, hoping to eventually lead him to his death, but she fails on every attempt. Eiji begs Rin to stop her futile murder attempt, but she responds that she will never lose or give up. She leads him to a V-shaped corridor, one to the exit and the other to Sena's cell. Eiji chooses to save Sena, his stepsister, who loved him unconditionally, even though she is terminally ill and will die in 6 months. Eiji also informs Ren that Sena is unaware that he is the order that caused the great destruction and that he was only concealing the truth until her death. The reinforcements attack Rin and Eiji but quickly overcome them and move towards where Sena is being held. When Eiji and Rin arrive at the location, Rin throws grenades at Fran, who catches them and throws them at Eiji, who runs toward him. When they make contact, another person uses his ability, known as the ceasefire agreement, to end their fight. As more people gather, Rin warns Eiji that these are the top 10 DCG leaders who have orders. The leaders greet and introduce themselves to Eiji, including Fuwa Rado, Narukami Benkei, Hiragi Yashitsune, Io, Nihara Take, Lauren Wright, Samuka Kikudo, Minamoto Nene, Kuno Mari, and Sundan Ayahito. Hiragi explains that they did not intend to harm Eiji or Senna but rather to use Eiji's ability to conquer Japan to create a new world. They declare war on the entire world, with Honshu Yamaguchi as their first target, and soldiers kidnap a runaway who is still unsure what is going on. Eiji is taken aback by the new information and requests to leave. Still, Hiragi informs him that they have already released his information to the media, claiming that Eiji was responsible for the world's destruction. Hence, he uses his ability to bind all 10 members and become their king. The news that Eiji was to blame for the massive destruction spread like wildfire, causing widespread unrest. Eiji is unconcerned about this as he watches Senna, who is under Fran's spell, which has stopped time for her indefinitely. Hiragi explains that after destroying the world, they will seek an order to assist Senna and cure her disease. Eiji decides to use the top 10 to save Senna, but while thinking about it, a meeting about Yamaguchi's invasion is called. Mari explains that Eiji is the key to their success, which surprises Eiji because, as their king, he should be fighting on the front lines, not them. Eiji devises another plan, but Mari tells him to hold his horses and listen to them because she is the group's tactician. Rin, who has been captured by soldiers and is half naked, receives a green card for her release as Eiji walks towards the conference room where the DCG and the Prime Minister meeting. The DCG gives the impression that Eiji is commanding them to retaliate against the rest of the world, so the illiterate Prime Minister begins killing off the families of the top 10 on live TV, believing that they will undoubtedly respond and are undoubtedly behind the coup d'état. His futile attempt ends when Eiji gets up and shoots everyone in sight, claiming he is entirely responsible for everything. Eiji and the others prepare for their battle with the rock god. The soldiers are divided into numerous groups and attack from all sides. Rin and Eiji enter Yamaguchi through a collapsing tunnel and are immediately saved by Io's ability to predict the future. Io informs Eiji that he is not to contact the rock god, which surprises Eiji, and he continues questioning Io, but she does not respond. Eiji is perplexed by the ribbon on Io's head as he tries to grab it, but Io jumps, claiming that if Eiji grabs it, she will become pregnant soon. Mari is startled when Rock God's puppet makes contact with Eiji's group, but she says nothing as the puppet attacks the group. Eiji accidentally grabs the ribbon on Io's head, causing her belly to swell, and they flee for safety. Rin is left behind. She saves a young girl and contacts the rock god, Take no Kagekyo. Io, who became pregnant, asks Eiji to find a safe place for the baby. Take informs Rin that the United Nations has decided to use a nuclear missile to eliminate Eiji so that they will attack Yamaguchi soon and that DCG is also aware of this attack. Take tells Rin everything she learned from a spy and asks Rin to assist her in killing Eiji. Io tells Eiji everything about the attack, who is terrified but decides to take Io to a nearby hospital, where everyone cares for the injured girl. Eiji contacts Rin via a nearby mobile antenna and orders her to kill the rock god, but Rin is defeated. Eiji also contacts headquarters, but Mari informs him that a nuclear missile is being launched and that he must withdraw. The rock god arrives at the hospital and attacks Eiji through her puppet, but Eiji uses his ability to stop her attack. Take enlightens everyone about Eiji, which incites resentment and leads to them attacking Eiji. Eiji is stabbed from behind by a nurse, who fails. Ayahito, the double spy, assists Rin and informs Take that all the soldiers have left, leaving no one to protect Eiji. This pleases Take, but Eiji quickly rises and uses his ability to control everyone in sight, including the rock god, allowing Eiji to use the puppet to stop the nuclear missile. Narukami and Lauren join the fight and assist Eiji in stopping the first nuclear missile. Take is dissatisfied with his actions and claims that saving them will not absolve him of his sins. However, seeing how Eiji attempts to stop the nuclear missiles and protect the people from collateral damage leads Take to believe otherwise. Take also uses her power to help her puppet, and when the second nuclear missile arrives, they can all stop it with everyone's help, including Ren. Hiragi discusses a deal with the UN after securing their primary target, Taratama Hikari, a young girl who can neutralize nuclear weapons. Daisy is in a fairy world, admiring Eiji's bravery, when she hears the mention of a beautiful reborn world behind her. Everyone takes a hot bath after the nuclear missile attacks, and Rin reflects on his relationship with her dominator, Eiji. Take joins the fun, fondling everyone's breasts and inquiring about the little girl. Minamoto Nene claims to have the ability to dream walking, which she used to obtain Hikari, who can neutralize the nukes and negate their side effects. Lauren informs Eiji that Senna awoke after Hiragi ordered Fran to break Fran's spell. He arrives at the headquarters and requests an explanation from Hiragi, who flips the situation by claiming that Eiji asks the government to assist Senna and asks Eiji to play along. Hiragi informs Senna that her illness is incurable, but an order in Izumo called Kamimasubi may assist them. Eiji takes Senna, and the two have a great night. Hiragi retook Senna in the morning. Eiji confronts Hiragi, but Hiragi orders Eiji to steal Japan by claiming other areas. After including the Yakuza in his domain, Eiji, Rin and Lauren visit Hiroshima, which is still ruled by the local authorities, the Yakuza, rather than the United Nations. Eiji and Rin enjoy their time at various eating establishments by sharing their meals. Io has a premonition that a person with similar power to Eiji will contact him, and they leave the headquarters to assist Eiji in Hiroshima. Rin is dominated by that person when she goes to get more food, and Eiji is pursued by the Yakuza, who were previously in his domain. Eiji is cornered, and the perpetrator introduces himself as Hattori Hanzo of Public Safety Division 6. Rin attacks Eiji, but his abilities do not affect her. Eiji is injured while attempting to save himself from Rin's rapid attacks, but help arrives in the form of Io and Narukami. Io informs Eiji that their group was formed specifically to combat this individual. Io and Narukami are injured while rescuing Eiji, who attacks Hattori with his ability, but the natural person isn't present. He is also using his abilities to manipulate this person's body. Hiragi arrives quickly and uses his ability to heal his group while saving Eiji from Hattori and Rin. Hattori must depart as soon as possible. Eiji confronts Hiragi, but he gets his answers from Daisy, who claims that the person controlling them is Eiji's biological father, Hashimiya Janai. Daisy informs them that Hattori and Rin are going to Izumo, and they should go there to clear their doubts. Eiji does not believe Daisy's words and claims that his father died when the Great Destruction struck. Eiji takes Io with him on this trip to Izumo, where they eat at a restaurant while Eiji worries about Rin. Io tries to assist him by sharing a premonition about Kamimasubi. They both board a truck to travel to the location predicted by Io's cart along the way. Io approaches Eiji, who is still worried about Rin and claims that if Rin were here, she wouldn't have to burden herself with this mission, which irritates Io, who believes Eiji will be the father of her child and that the pregnancy in the Yamaguchi was just a foreshadowing of what is to come. Io hesitates to bring up the pregnancy, but Eiji immediately cuts her off and promises he will never touch her. They enter a cave. Io, still thinking, is unaware that the cave is crumbling. Eiji requests that Io use her ability to guide him through the path, but she remains despondent. They quickly reach a point where the rock beneath them breaks, causing them to fall into the water, believe that her foresight is correct because Eiji dislikes her. Eiji saves Io from drowning, and they sit near the fire to dry their clothes. Eiji mentions a friend again, which causes Io to strip naked and ask Eiji to see her and like her because she is already in love with him. They are startled to hear a shriek of laughter and the gods of Izumo appear. Miko of Izumo introduces herself as Shirabayoshi Kuriko and requests that Eiji and Io continue their love story without delay. When Eiji asks Kuriko to assist his sister Sena, she refuses because they are performing a ritual. Kuriko, on the other hand, gives them a chance and tells them that if Eiji and Io can catch the ball from them, one rule being that they cannot use their order on the ball, she will assist them. Eiji and Io give it their all to catch the ball by using their abilities while the gods play along, but they cannot do so. Eiji becomes tired and places his head on Io's lap, where they both devise a plan. They hold hands, and instead of speaking, Io predicts the future and assists Eiji with the touch of her hand. Kuriko appreciates Eiji and Io when a tidal wave controlled by someone hits them. Matsudaira Famei, a member of Public Safety Division 6, claims to be here to assassinate Kuroko. Famei tries to drown them, but Eiji uses his ability to create an air chamber beneath the water's surface. Kuroko advises them to combine their wishes because it is the only way to save them. Eiji and Io join forces, causing their avatars to merge, and they can defeat Famei together, but he calls out for Daisy, who opens a portal between them and Rin. Hattori orders one of his subordinates to kill Kuroko by using his ability to slash through dimensions. Thanks for watching. If this series is the most liked in my anime recap production, I will make a part 2. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to help me make more content.